Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be talking about a Greek economy and Greek being the second poorest in Europe. I have an article about Poland asking EU to stop supporting the Ukrainian refugees, especially men of military age. And I will go to those articles in a second. I mean, probably in several minutes after I read you what I have for you. And that is the topic that is the most important one as far as what's happening in Poland right now. And a big part of Poland, in many regions of Poland on the south of Poland, actually near Wrocław, because Wrocław used to be called Breslau, is part of that region that is on the brink now of being affected by very heavy floods. It's not just Poland, it's Slovakia, it's also Czech Republic. I just want to tell you, some of you might think maybe I'm strange, maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's too much conspiracy. By the way, the term conspiracy theory, by the way, the term created by CIA, so there you have it. I'm just thinking, this is taking place in Poland, destroying people's livelihoods, small businesses, crops, just after Blinken's visit. Well, oh well, if people don't believe that there is such a thing, that there is such a technology that affects the weather and is being used in the most convenient way to convince politicians, governments about fully aligning with certain agendas. Well, I don't know, maybe you need to do more research because strangely you have fires. Let's just remember Hawaii. Strangely you have floods. Strangely you have some other earthquakes or natural disasters before elections or other things that are taking place. Poland has been really heavily affected. I don't know the exact numbers if people lost their lives and how many had to evacuate, because it's still going on and it's really dangerous. I will attach the video down below in the description box. Even if you don't understand the language, you can turn on the translation there. There is an option in the settings section. But you can see the images of one of the cities that is named Kłodzko. Beautiful old town, and the restaurants and the businesses and the roads that have been destroyed. That is one thing. But what I want to do now, I want to read you something that is 100% a fact, documented, declassified for the public in the United States, how the United States have been manipulating the weather in Vietnam. So bear with me, everyone, as I read you not a conspiracy theory, but a true document, a true story. Something that was taking place in Vietnam and was called the cloud seeding. The process is thought to have originated in 1946 by Vincent Schaefer, a chemist employed by General Electric. Cloud seeding is a method for artificially producing rain or snow. It requires modifying a cloud's chemical structure to boost the chainas, I think, I'm not sure, that's how you say it, for precipitation with the added substance of silver iodide, which works as a condensation agent. There are two ways to disperse cloud seeding agents, either using large cannons to shoot the particles into the sky or using airplanes to drop the particles from above. Throughout the planning period, the program went by several names to maintain its secrecy. Operation Popeye ended up being its official name. In a memorandum sent in January 1967 from Deputy Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs, the name of the person is Foy Koller, to then Secretary of State Dean Rush, Koller described Project Popeye's goals, stating, now quoting Koller, The objective is to inhibit overland vehicular movement and to reinforce the bottlenecks already created at stream crossings by the bombing of bridges and ferry installations. With respect to Laos, the objective is to extend rainfall through the dry season, keeping the ground as near the saturation point as possible and obstructing traffic that normally fords streams during the low water period. End of quote. By generating rain, the American army would show the West, will show the Viet Cong truck traffic, impeding their supply flow through the trail and leaving them more susceptible to other attacks. Apologies for my reading. My handwriting sometimes, that's what it is. Kohler also believed that cloud seeding was relatively more ethical than common warfare. Let me repeat this. Kohler also believed that cloud seeding was relatively more ethical than common warfare, stating, with respect to North Vietnam, we believe that as an interdiction measure, Popeye operation would be less harmful to the population and the area affected than bombing. For Operation Popeye to be successful, it had to be carried out with utmost secrecy. If information about America playing God and controlling the weather came out, there might be speculation about man-made alterations and other climatic anomalies they had no connections with. However, the American planners were also convinced that their intervention on the weather would inevitably be discovered. According to Deputy Undersecretary Kohler's memo, quoting him, in the first place, the altered weather will be observable, in contrast to the experimental phase conducted during normally rainy periods. Disclosure of planned weather experiments in India would make it likely then connection would become apparent. Secondly, the possibility of a US seeding aircraft being downed cannot be discounted. Thirdly, there is virtually no aspect of military operations in Southeast Asia which has not, over time, become the subject of leaks or at least of speculations in the press. Make mud, no war. Make mud, not war. So, Operation Popeye is the first known successful application of weather control technology in warfare. I disagree here because Nazis used it before, but let's continue. The first flight of the operation took off on March 20th, 1967. A total of 2,602 flights were made in 5 monsoon seasons from March to November. The 54th Weather Reconnaissance Squadron executed the cloud seeding procedure using the slogan, "Make mud, not war." Within their squadron, the operation was codenamed Motorpool. The three Lockheed's C-130 Hercules aircraft and 2 McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom aircraft based at Udon Thani, I don't know, that's how you say the name, Royal Thai Air Force Base were altered and fitted with silver iodide ejectors. The 5 Clouds seeding jets had the standard Southeast Asia camouflage colors and markings, but no unit identifiers, likely because the operation was top secret. The squadron flew 2 rain-making operations per day, while also generating report data which they presented to their superiors. The flights were officially logged in as a standard weather reconnaissance flights. The Viet Cong would not know where the rain was coming from. The initial range of operations for Popeye was the eastern half of the Laotian Panhandle. For a month after the first official flight, the area of intervention was increased towards North Vietnam. In September 1967, a Shao Valley in South Vietnam was also added to the mix. As bomb operations over North Vietnam expanded, that area was eliminated from the list on April 1st, 1968. Likewise, the southern regions of northern Vietnam. They became part of the operational site for only a couple of months. In 1972, northeastern Cambodia was added to the operational zone. A total of 47,409 units of cloud seed cartridges were expended. The operations details were so secret that the soldiers who got selected to participate were usually kept in the dark until the last minute. Everyone had their own theory about what Operation Popeye was really about. Soldier Howard Keeble said, quoting him, "I had fleeting thoughts of flying over China, working for the CIA, you name it. But I signed a statement and found out that I was going to make rain. Geez, I thought they were kidding." End of quote. Ethical and environmental concerns were Operation Popeye's downfall. An article in the Washington Post in 1971 by reporter Jade Anderson revealed that the US was engaged in clandestine weather weaponization in Vietnam. The information was corroborated, if I mispronounce, sorry, my writing, by the Pentagon Papers leak released by Daniel Ellsberg. The following year, in July of 1972, journalist Seymour Hersh, you know him, reported in the New York Times about Operation Popeye using the headline, "Rainmaking is used as weapons by US." The article describes how some officials opposed the radical idea and even doubted its effectiveness due to the unknown long-term consequences, stating, "Despite years of experiments with rainmaking in the US and elsewhere, scientists are not sure they understand its long-term effect on the ecology of the region." A few days after the story's publication, the entire program was officially ended and all clouds seeding mission stopped. Silver iodide, the materials used in the cloud seeding condensation, is known to be toxic to aquatic life. So when used in a long-term, precipitation from seeded clouds could be harming the environment. You see, to all of those, yeah, environmentalists, what a BS is it, huh? They are fooling people like there is no tomorrow, and people don't get it. The news caught the eye of Democratic Senator Claiborne Pell, who demanded to have the specifications of Operation Popeye officially declassified and released to the public. As one of the leaders of the operation, Lieutenant Harry Edward Soyster was asked to testify in front of the Committee on Foreign Relations. He told them everything he knew. The cost of Operation Popeye was about $3.6 million per year. We are talking 1967, 68, right? So, which included the operation and maintenance of the modified jets, purchase of seeding materials, and pay for the people involved in the project. So there you have it, everyone. This is official, how they manipulate the weather. And I wouldn't be surprised at all what they have done in Dubai recently. You remember what happened in Dubai? Right? Strange thing, isn't it? Now we have this in Poland. From extreme heat, all of a sudden, floods. I'm not buying this, not a bit. So, now let's go to the two articles that I have for you. And I hope you appreciate me reading this to you. Sorry for my pronunciation, as always. Sometimes my handwriting is a mess. Let's go to the Greek economy. This is from GreekReporter.com. Greek economy. Greeks now the second poorest in Europe. Greek people are now officially the second poorest in Europe. Real Wages, the salaries, steadily fell through 2022, according to the latest OECD data, dropping 30% from pre-crisis levels. The Greek government boasts about Greece's economic growth, which is higher than the Eurozone average. However, Greek citizens remain at the bottom of Europe in terms of real purchasing power. Despite the ongoing economic recovery, Greeks are becoming poorer. The situation might worsen over time. Currently, Greece is often compared to Bulgaria in terms of purchasing power. While the Greek economy's upturn has slightly raised living standards compared to the EU average, this improvement is minimal. It has not lifted Greece from its position as the poorest country in the Eurozone. This is just horrific, everyone. Comparison to the pre-crisis and Eurozone levels. It is worth noting that until 2009, Greece's GDP per capita was close to the EU average. However, since then, 10 countries have surpassed Greece in living standards. Now Greek people rank as the second poorest in Europe, only ahead of Bulgaria. The gap between Greece and Bulgaria is shrinking rapidly. As a result, it is not unreasonable to expect Greece to soon become the poorest country in the EU. This prediction has sparked heated debate in Greek politics. So, how can strong recovery and deepening poverty exist simultaneously? The aftermath of the financial crisis and the austerity that followed are to blame. Greece was forced to cut spending and raise taxes to secure an IMF and EU bailout. Yes. These measures strangled businesses and households, collapsing the economy. The economic damage Greece suffered was rare, even in peacetime. As a result, the Greek economy is still about 19% smaller than it was in 2007. Meanwhile, the EU economy has grown by 17% during that time. Poverty among young people. The poverty statistics in Greece are alarming. Other data confirms the difficult conditions for Greek citizens. In 2023, the Greek economy grew by 2%, but poverty did not decrease. According to Elstat, 26.1% of Greek men and women were at risk of poverty or social exclusion in 2023. This is crazy, guys. 26%. This equals about 2,658,400 people. The poverty rate in 2022 was 26.3%. It is important to note that Eurostat and Elstat define poverty as what would call absolute poverty or destitution in everyday language. The poverty line is set at 6,030 euros per year for an individual or 12,663 euros for a household with 2 adults and 2 children under 14. So how much is it? 500 euros per month for a single person. EU. Especially concerning is the high percentage of young people aged 18 to 24 living in severe material and social deprivation. This rate is more than double the European average. In 2023, 14.8% of 18 to 24 years olds faced severe deprivation. Women followed closely at 14.1%, with people over 55 at 13%. Men had slightly lowered deprivation rates at 12.9%. Material and social deprivation is different from poverty. It measures access to essential goods and services rather than income. This includes food, housing, recreation, vacations, and emergency expenses. Greece also holds negative records in child poverty. In 2023, nearly 22% of minors were at risk of poverty, compared to 18.3% of adults, according to GSEE report. GSEE noted that while Greek society seemed to improve after the crisis low point, the poverty indicators were worsened again since 2020. For example, in 2022, 22.3% of households with dependent children in Greece lived below the poverty line. This is crazy. 22% households lived below the poverty line, compared to 17.4% in the EU, 27. In 2023, there was only a slight decrease, just 0.3 percentage points. So this is the article. I will attach this down below in the description box. It's horrific to me. It's just, you know, where this leads to crime, higher crime, human trafficking. You know where it goes. You know where it goes. Now, to all my Greek people, put in the comments down below, please. Next article. Poland calls for end to EU benefits for Ukrainian men of fighting age, and they are playing this game, flip-flopping in every freaking direction. And of course, Sikorski. Poland's Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski urged EU governments to stop providing social support to Ukrainian men of fighting age who are refugees in their countries. During the Yalta European Strategy, a forum for discussing Ukraine's European future, which was held in Kiev, Sikorski said that to help Ukraine's war effort, there should be no financial incentives for avoiding the draft in Ukraine. He made reference to Russian drones crossing into NATO members' airspace as reason for EU governments to stop paying social security benefits to men of draft age and strengthen defense efforts against Russia. You're gonna read Sikorski and his, I don't want to say, the article will be down below this video in the description box, and I will end this video with a comment from one of you talking about poverty. Let me just find it. Before I do, tomorrow I will record the video for you that I prepared for a few days ago, and this is about Putin's speech, very good speech that he recently gave. And I will be updating you about those of you who are interested about moving to Russia, about this decree that Putin has signed. So let's end with this comment. This is from David Hamilton, who says, few videos ago, who says the UK government has stopped the cold weather payment for retirees and the elderly, putting their lives at risk of dying, whilst giving billions of pounds to Kiev for as long as it takes. The UK government don't care about Ukrainians, Palestinians and pensioners. So this is a very good comment. Thank you so much, David, for leaving this. That's all I have for you today, everyone. What else can I tell you? I mean, you see, let's just seek the truth, because the truth will set you free. I wish you all a lot of strength of spirit. First and foremost, strong spirit, health, mental health, physical health, good energy, God's protection, divine protection. And thank you so much for hitting this like, sharing, subscribing and leaving the comments. Every other platform to find me, you find down below this video in the description box or in the pinned comment section. And if you're interested in my products, you can check out my book that I collaborated on with Scott Ritter, or the shop that is down below this video as well. Lots of love, and remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. See you tomorrow in another video that will be mainly dedicated to Putin's speech and the update about if you want to move to Russia and live there. Bye everyone.